It's a great snowy day in Wyoming, and today I'm going to demonstrate to you our mini marbling kits. So if you don't know that much about Suminagashi marbling, I have another video about that, but I'll briefly tell you that it's a very old Japanese technique. It's been around since about the 8th century, and it has been perfected and is still used in Japan. So there are other marbling techniques that are used in Europe and the Turkish method that uses acrylic paints, but this is the Suminagashi marbling. And so with our kits, we've already researched the type of paper, we've already researched the type of Japanese Suminagashi ink. So these little bowls are perfect. The container that you receive your kit in is what you will put the water in. That's what's so great. You put the water in the bowl, your lid is your palette. All right. I'm going to cut my paper so that I've got 16 separate pieces of paper. You could cut these into any shape you want. You can cut them into shapes before you do your work or after they dry. One thing you need to keep in mind is you definitely want a workspace and you want a place to dry your work. So I'm just going to dry my work right here. Okay, you've got your brushes, you've got your water. Doesn't matter if it's cold or hot. That would be a fun experiment. You have 2 colors of paint, and this is enough paint to make many more marbling pieces than your 16 that we've included. I just need 3 drops. I know that sounds crazy, but you do not need much. You don't want to waste your paint because you want to make a lot of art. And I've used paper from around the house just to see how that works, so that's a great experiment. Okay, one brush for each color of paint. So I've got blue and black. I'm going to hold my brush straight up, not like this, and barely touch the top of the paint. You should notice, it may take a while. Ooh, did you see that? The paint will just sit right on top. Now if it sinks, then that means that maybe you're dipping your paintbrush too deep into the water. Just barely tap it on the top. The fun part about this project is you do not have to be an artist to create beautiful artwork. All of our projects are about the experience. It's not about learning how to create a tree or a house or something perfectly. It's more about how can you create art and how does the science help you? All right, so this is a pretty cool design so far. Now I could leave it like that. You'll see how it just keeps expanding. And traditional Suminagashi, they do continually make rings that expand. I'll show you a couple of ways I like to do it. All right, I'm going to get my piece of paper. There's a little bit of difference in the sides. One is much tighter, so that's the one I prefer to use. But try both. They're going to both create beautiful art. All right, I'm going to say 1, 2, 3 with a little bit of a curve right here and drop. Great. Okay, now you can actually, it's already printed, so I can actually rinse my piece in the water and it won't mess up my design. That's so beautiful and simple. Look how beautiful. Okay, I'm going to set it right here to dry. And you can leave this on top. It's just going to push around the sides. So I'm going to get some more paint and do black. Now if you notice that your paint is not expanding much, it could mean it's probably because you have so many other colors out here that it's just not, doesn't have anywhere to go. I'm going to use my black and just pull it through. That's a really fun way to make some really fun art. Let me just show you what that's going to look like. Try not to get your paper wet with your fingers because it won't print where that spot is. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to rinse a little bit, and you don't want it to stay in there too long because it is fragile paper. See, look how pretty. See, now I've stirred the water up. It looks like dirty water, but the paint is distributed throughout. It's not sitting on top anymore. So I'm going to see what I can make. It's hard to see what it is. Okay, let me go rinse the water out. Look what I made. All right, I have new water, and I also have a little bit of soap. I have 1 drop of soap in this little container. So I want to show you, let me just show you let's see what happens. It's always different. Let's use blue. I'm going to wash this brush off. Blue. Gray. Did you see that? Now, this has a little bit of black in it, but not much. Yeah, I don't know if you saw, but it pushed out. The soap actually saved the spot and pushed out. Let's keep going. And traditional Suminagashi actually uses maybe just black because they didn't have all of the colors that we have now. Our inks come from Japan, and traditionally they used resin, pine resin from trees to give it a lightness, which is a cool science. There's always science behind how all this works. Okay, let's see how this printed. 1, 2, 3. Now remember, you can rinse it a little. Oh, that turned out great. You guys will be amazed at how beautiful these designs are. You don't have to really have any intention at all, which is kind of a relief. It's nice to know that you can just create something without having to think too hard about it. And if the water is moving, you can use different techniques for moving the water intentionally. See, you can actually kind of paint on top. You don't want to get soap mixed in with your colors, but because I'm almost done, that's when you can kind of have fun with mixing your colors a little bit. Okay, let's see what we can print with this little design. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I love these. Just it's almost like a storm in the ocean. All right, we'll let those dry, and you can cut those to create some nice little cards. I'll show you some examples here in a little bit. Okay, wash your brushes, rinse out your water, and this can be where you store your brushes. Our artwork has dried beautifully. The paper is crisp and the colors stay vibrant. I wanted to show you how you can make these cute little cards. We have a bookbinding kit on 4th Street Studios Etsy shop and website that does have scissors, glue, and a little bit more information about bookmaking. This is how I like to make cards, and we make cards and books of all sizes. So you could use the entire page and of your artwork and have it fold over, something like that. But I love to make my artwork last, and I love little squares and very minimal designs. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to make something like that. And then I could put a little note here, or I could just leave it blank and have this be a note. So I've got glue sticks. Glue sticks are great because they don't make a mess. Make sure that you're using an area. You don't want a mess right here, so either get a piece of scratch paper or work on the side. And on the back of your paper, very gently apply all the way to the corners. And you know, these don't have to be perfect. The beautiful part about handmade work is that it looks organic, and you can tell it's not made by a machine, which makes that so much more special these days, with most things being made from a machine. So let yourself be okay with the organic and not perfect. Look up wabi sabi. That's a great concept of imperfection is perfect. All right, so enjoy making art and enjoy creating your own gifts. From this kit, yesterday we used only about 3 drops from each color of our marbling ink, and we created 1, 2, 3, 4 of our 16 pieces of artwork. So you're going to be able to create a lot of artwork from this one kit and explore other types of paper. These little cards can easily be turned into mini books with pieces of paper in the middle. So check out our bookbinding video, and it'll give you some hints about how you can make books and cards from things around the house. So the mini marbling kit, you've got a QR code on the front, so if you give these as gifts, they will be directed to our YouTube channel or our website where they can follow the link. We also have a little card here that shows all of our social media, where there's lots of inspiration and demos for 4th Street Studios and Science Knows Art. The marbling kit includes all the paper and the cards. You'll get 2 colors of paint, which doesn't look like much, but with Suminagashi marbling, it is a lot. Now, the other types of marbling, you need a lot more paint and you need a lot more prep. For Suminagashi marbling, you barely need any. You've got your brushes. You'll need 2 brushes, sticker, and some little Science Loves Art treats inside.